Today is Disabled Sleuthing Labor Day edition. So we will be talking about labor and about EDD. I know for me, there's a lot of stuff going on with EDD, right? So I don't know if I should do this or not. But yeah, so I know that the labor force is quite terrible lately. So I just have this is going to be real quick. I did live streams already yesterday for TikTok. I don't do that every day because I think the more constantly you're forever going to be constant with streaming and just, it doesn't, yes, it may help the algorithm, but then you get drained and you get tired from doing 2-3 hours of streaming. So today I'm late for my car note just due to me not being able to find work as of right now. So I went to EDD and I was getting payments on the regular, but unfortunately due to I guess it being Labor Day, I don't know, I haven't gotten paid, so I'm late. Plus, once you pay off you use your SSI money, there is no money left to be had anywhere. So that also ties into the Disabled Sleuthing. So let's get into it. So it's saying case files. Welcome to the Disabled Sleuthing, where we investigate the illusions that hold us back. This isn't just about content creators or influencers or Hollywood. It's about every single person who wants to be more than what the world says they are allowed to be, right? We'll pull out all the smoke screens, discreet the mirrors, and expose the systems that the system that profit from keeping us underestimated. Because isn't that just what my case filed? It's yours too. And together we're going to crack it right open. I actually have to perfect that. I haven't been, this is for the week because I have surgery tomorrow. So I'll probably be able to do a better job probably next Monday, where I can do a better sort of intro. However, let's get into this. Okay, so Medi-Cal is work related, right? So there's work restrictions on getting Medi-Cal. So let's, I have to stop and start this just to let you know, because of the algorithm in YouTube. So we're gonna have to make sure that we have everything in it. I'm just checking to see if all my stuff comes up. I can also probably put this on TikTok as well. So I'm just trying to also make sure that I get content on my TikTok as well, just due to the fact that my books are not selling. I wish they were. Oh shit. I don't even know why I even have this. So if it's okay, so sorry about that. I was just, it keeps okay. I think it was leaking, I guess. So because it was leaking on my paper, it soaked my paper that I don't actually need, so it's okay. I have to get rid of all this stuff anyway. So we're gonna go into this Labor Day news, and it was a month ago, but it still is about today as well. So let's take a look at it.
Earlier, President Trump is expected to sign his signature domestic policy package into law today. It includes new spending, but also new cuts and changes to programs like Medicaid. Many who are enrolled in Medicaid will soon be required by the new law to prove every month that they work, study, or volunteer 80 hours a month.
Okay, so 80 hours, right, is actually a lot more. Um, Actually, 80 hours is not good, because the fact is 80 hours over exceeds the stipulations that was put into place when the Democrats were in office, right? So 80 hours a week is not just a full-time job, it's full-time and a half, right? So if you're disabled, you the SSI will not be able to pay for that because it's over the work voucher stipulant. So he actually just screwed us quite a bit.
By one estimate, 92% of Americans under 65 who are enrolled in Medicaid are already working. One Missouri mom whose adult son requires round-the-clock care is worried his Medicaid coverage could soon be lost. My NBC News Daily co-anchor and correspondent Zincle Asamoah sat down with her.
For Kimberly Gallagher, the loss of her husband to cancer 6 years ago also meant the loss of her private insurance. It's health care.
Okay, for someone who needs round-the-clock work, right? Well, actually round-the-clock for someone who has low functioning, right? If they're low functioning, then and they need round the clock, and you have a spouse that is no longer able to participate in the bills, right? That actually cuts the funding even more due to the fact that the system wants a mom and a dad and the kids, so the family, right, can then be into the labor force to actually be able to compensate for what was given during the time that the family is working, so that they can get the not just the algorithm working, but also the workforce where to bring capitalism up to a higher standard so that the rich can actually benefit from that.
She desperately needs to care for her son Daniel in Kansas City, Missouri. He's had a rare genetic condition since birth.
Well, Daniel's a little different than the typical person with Prader-Willi syndrome. He's lower functioning and he's nonverbal because of the autism.
Daniel is now 31. What does his care look like day to day now?
He requires total care.
Gallagher is enrolled in Medicaid, but new work requirements and President Trump's newly passed One Big Beautiful Bill Act put her at risk of losing that coverage.
Okay, you see, people who have, like me, I'm high functioning, but I still need to work, but I can't work that high up, because the fact is, due to people having to stipulate what is the requirement from the top, this is what it's going to look like if I can't get work. Although I don't need 24-hour care, I will still need Medi-Cal and Medicaid due to my medications.
Supported President Trump, and this policy has been spearheaded by him. I wonder if it matches what you were expecting or what your hope is moving forward.
No, it doesn't match. But again, I still have the part of me that wonders if somewhere in that 200 and some odd pages, if there's something that I'm missing that will still protect us.
Around 18.5 million Americans will now be required to prove they work, study, or volunteer no less than 80 hours a month.
Even volunteering, you can still get paid a little bit of money for volunteering. I get that, but however, due to the nation's coverage of what that actually truly extends to, there is a requirement for volunteering. But also, if you need round-the-clock care, right? How are you gonna be able to get this going? How are you gonna be able to get work? How are you gonna be able to volunteer, right? So that actually doesn't make any sense at all. And the ADA law is supposed to protect us from this type of atrocious abomination, right? Just because of the fact that if we can actually be able to take a look at this in a deeper setting, right? There is so much more that we actually have to prove, and we're already proving our what we need. However, there's, oh well, you keep needing to prove because they don't want to pay out. So the more that they're actually able to stipulate that, you know, you have to have requirements, right? So all the requirements, you pass the requirements, okay, now you have to even pass even more hurdles, and then they wonder why people don't want to work. And they want people with disabilities to actually go and work, but they're not allowing us to work just due to the fact that they keep, this is what you call gatekeeping, right? I need you to work 80 hours, right? That means that SSI can't pay you because they're trying to get you to get off of SSI so it can go into their bank account. However, that just means extra time and extra work for those who can work. If they're able-bodied, that's going to put a strain on them, but it's also going to put a strain on the person with a disability as well, because if they need 24-hour care, that means that they are not going to be able to compensate or even comprehend what this actually truly means.
With some exceptions, according to the Congressional Budget Office.
What's the problem with trying to verify individuals when it comes to their work status and employment status?
I was on the ground in Arkansas when the state tried requirements just like this in 2018, and we saw working people, disabled people, caregivers, all of them getting cut off the program left and right.
The idea of work requirements for Medicaid is not new. In 2023, Georgia introduced similar parameters still in place. And in 2018, Arkansas did the same.
So you see how they keep saying that everyone needs to prove that they need to work? It's all because of capitalism. They need people to continue to generate money so that they can get money. That's all it is. But how this actually stipulates is harder now, because people who just work and work and work, right, is never going to be able to cut out or budget into the sort of congressional right system, and that people who are already still trying very hard to continue to work have to even work even more hours, just due to the fact that legislation just wants your money. That's the how I feel. They just want your money because they want to pay for whatever lifestyle that they have, and they want their kids to always have what they have. But it's not going to be what they believe it is, and it's already hurting the country, but they don't need to worry about that because they think, well, my seat is secure, and it kind of is, because we haven't changed their the term. They have a lifelong term, so they're always going to have a job, so they don't have to worry about it.
Legal aid attorney Kevin DeLeban filed a suit against Arkansas's Medicaid changes, a federal judge and then the Biden administration ultimately blocking the work requirements. More than 18,000 people lost coverage in that state.
Imagine getting a 10-page letter today that says something that you barely understand, right? Because it sounds like you might be eligible, but you might not be eligible and you're not sure. You're buried under an avalanche of paperwork, red tape, hoops to jump through.
The work requirement change could have a major cost-cutting effect, with $325 billion worth of savings estimated by the Congressional Budget Office.
And as you can see, they're just calling it savings, but it's really just going to go to Muskie and his temper tantrum. He's just a spoiled child who, well, I can blow up everything and you're still gonna want me. No. Or you can have diaper pants, right? Diaper pants will say, I'm the greatest, I am so good, right? Everybody loves me, when nobody even showed up to his birthday party, right? So his little really bad parade was so laughable, but he thought the world loved it, right? And this is the love, you know, that he's showing us, although he's not my president, but he's still president to many people who are now being affected by this, who believe that it wasn't going to affect them. Now where are you at?
When you're talking about Medicaid, we need to make sure the program is sustained for the people it's intended for. That's, the elderly, the disabled, young pregnant mothers down on the luck.
Now families like the Gallaghers say they're in limbo. In 2019, Gallagher relinquished custody of her son so she could get paid by the state of Missouri to be his full-time caregiver, a provision under Missouri state law.
Just the act of going into court and, declaring that you're giving up your son. And I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Today, she fears she'll lose even more.
This bill is set to be signed by President Trump today
Yes.
in the Oval Office.
So he's ripping families apart, right? And he knows this, and he's happy about it because his family's the Lulu and not, he doesn't have a mini person like Kim Jong-un. Even if that is the case, even Kim Jong-un's people, I don't believe, actually like him, but they can't say anything about it because he has military power, right, over the whole Korea. I think it's South Korea. And then Russia, right, is just absolutely just tarnished its reputation because its reputation is military power, and having a CIA actually as their president and not ever wanting to relinquish its power. So if we have to give up our children just so that you can get paid and they need you, what does that say about the world, right? If people having to give up their kids, are we even in America? Do we even live in America? I don't know.
You've supported him in the past. If you could talk to him right now, what would you say?
I want to know what he was thinking. The politicians say that Medicaid is not going to be affected except for the people who, supposedly are cheating the system. And it's not supposed to affect the disabled. And so I just want some more guarantees.
The family seeking certainty as the health coverage they rely on is set to change.
Zinkley Asamoah there. Zinkley, thank you. That story, by the way, was produced in collaboration with our partner, KFF Health News.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on.
Okay, so as we can see, right, we need to be better with this because it's still affecting us to this day. And that was only last month, and this is September, right? Happy Labor Day. So are you truly going to be able to look someone in the eye who you used to say, oh, what happened to Johnny? Oh, I had to get rid of him. Why? Well, because I couldn't take care of him because, the executive order said, that you have to work this hours in order to get Medicaid. And they're like, well, that doesn't affect you. And they'll be like, yes, it does, because my child is disabled, or my child this, right? Or my family that. And they're like, oh, well, good luck to you. And then when it affects them, oh, now I'm crying, right? Oh, now I feel bad, So, I don't know. I mean, there is no guarantee for anything. Even their own positions, they could get fired at any particular point, right? However, they're not going to be as likely to get fired because they do have people who will protect them. But who's going to protect us if we elected these people into office, into power, into wherever positions that they feel that they needed to be the best at, right? And we thought that they were an expert at that. Apparently not, right? Apparently not, because how one is affected is different, right? So my effectiveness, right, is I'm very blessed to have my Medi-Cal and Medicaid, right? I'm able to go into surgery. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. It was approved. But what if I wasn't? And I would have to pay billions and billions of dollars to get my medication, and in the end, I will not be able to pay for a bottle of medication. My one pill is over $1,000, right? So a whole 90-day supply is going to be billions of dollars because I have to take it multiple times a day, for me to not be sick, right? So in order to keep one down, one has to be able to maintain its sort of regulation, right? So going to the doctor every 3 months, right? If I had no Medi-Cal or no Medicaid to pay for that bill would be about close to $900 for per office visit. I actually took a look at the bill one time when they thought I wasn't on it, but then I was able to fight it and I didn't have to pay for it. But yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what they're thinking that people like me can actually do, because we don't make that type of money that Congress people do. However, they're like, well, we don't make that much money either. Okay, well then, yeah, you're doing different things, you're running different businesses and stuff like that, and you have an obligation, because it's a promise to protect and a promise to reiterate that promise to us, right? So when you actually come into some type of state, right, any state, we have to see how the effect is. The cost and effect are going to be vastly different, right? Because of how it's played out. So they're trying to create a rules in how to state something so it is confusing, so that you can vote in their favor, not in your favor. Because if it was in your favor, right, like I was taking the LSAT test, practice test, and how they do deductive reasoning is quite debauching. So they will have a whole slew of mess, sort of like gobbledygook. It's sort of like word salad, and you have to decipher word salad. So the whole time that you're talking to someone, right, who is in office, all you're talking about is word salad, right? So this type of language, right, can't keep continuing, although it has started being word salad when we were in the colonial days, because that's how they wrote. We can change that sort of dynamic of how to write. If you're doing Charles Dickens writing, or if you're doing Jane Austen writing, right, they have a particular style, right? So it's for the times. Now, if your time is different, right, we're 2025, babes. We're 2025. And there is no objective as to why everything has to be so confusing. If you make people understand what it is, because you're making sure that the education is low so that they cannot understand, so they can just be like, yes, do this, and then boom, we're in a war, and they're like, well, we didn't know that that was what was told to us, and we're like, yes, we told you, and they're like, but how did you tell us, right? And they said, oh, an article section blah blah blah, bill 53, right, said you obligated your money to pay for the war effort. And we're like, but that's not what that said, right? That's not what that bill was signed to do. And they're like, oh yes it was, and you agreed to it, so we can do this, right? That is how we have a tall tale sign of what actually is not understanding, right? So while yes, that's why a lot of lawyers, there's actually very minimal lawyers now, right? Because not everybody's trying to go into law school because of this, right? So I think that this is, there are times when we have to figure out exactly what it is that we need. So we have this sort of ample ambiguity, I guess, where we need to be able to kind of function on a basis where we need more help with our IQs, right? We need to build instead of tearing down so that we can actually be more educated, so that how one functions, right? So if you are on a higher spectrum of autism, right, you're born that way. It doesn't come and go. So I'm not even entirely sure why it's actually not necessary for someone to believe that it will go away, or that, you know, if you take the right medication, it will go away. That's not, medication isn't going to be the answer for everything. However, it is going to answer a lot of questions about somebody's pocket, right? Oh, I need to buy this yacht and it's this amount of money. Oh, I'm so close, I'm almost there. But then you also have to make sure that you maintain the storage unit that you have. You also have to make sure you have the license to do that, right? You also have to make sure that you have the necessary equipment to keep doing that, right? So there's going to be a lot of upsings in a state where they have so much time and effort and sort of nuances, right? And I think that's where that money is going. It's also going to pay for a war that we don't truly need. If you're trying to get oil, right, then don't make cars that need that much fuel, right? Because the fact is, if you have fuel, what are you doing, right? How are you turning this into something where it's always a war, right? Why are you always trying to say, well, this is mine because I say so, right? That's not what that's supposed to be, right? So I'm thinking that we need to redefine what it is to do terms, right? We need to redo terms. So we can take a look at a few more, right? Let's do, oh, that actually is, all right, no, that didn't work out. So we can actually do positive news, I guess. Positive news is that I do have my books out if you guys want to take a look at it. It's called Orchid. I will plug myself in, so it's Orchid, and I will share my screen. This is Orchid. As you can see here, I'm on Kindle Books, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. This is my book. You see right here, this is what I wrote. It's on Facebook, Pinterest, X, still Twitter, and I can always link it, share it. It's 1340, right? And then I have also another book. This one is my second book. Oh, it's actually out of stock. Oh, I did not know that. That's pretty excellent. That means a lot of people are reading it. Go figure. So here is, you can always find my second book. Oh, this is actually Thrift Books. So let's share this one. So we're going to do this one. Here's this Orchid. It's still the same thing. My books are out of stock. They can always ask for more. So as of what this is, we can actually take a picture of this and so I guess this is a good Labor Day for me. Oh, I can actually do it this way. Okay, so I'm doing it for TikTok. We can actually take a look at, oh, you can also, you can find me here at Books a Million ad books here. So there's a lot of places you can find me at. We can also take a look at Lady Fall. By Lady Alice. Okay, so you can find me on Amazon still. Here, currently unavailable. Wow, I'm actually selling out. That is that's absolutely amazing. Wow, look. Okay, so I'm currently out of stock for this as well. Guess I'm doing something good. Yes. So it's unavailable, and this is so my first book. You can also find me everywhere. So my channel is here. This is Wonderland. So my Wonderland Enterprises is at the same time. So I guess this is a pretty good Labor Day. So quick reminder, if you guys want to, if you guys truly want to help me out, it's not too late to buy my first book and my second book. You guys can help the algorithm, like, share, comment, subscribe, do your thing. So with that being said, we can take a look at one more good news. Okay, so we're doing, so we can actually go to the New York, let's go to NPR because, okay. Oh, actually, because that's these are news articles. Let's do, yeah, let's go to the New York Times. Okay, so here's the article from the New York Times about, which is actually just yesterday. So here is, so we're going to not do that. Okay, we're not doing that because I don't actually want to sign up for free. Wall Street Journal. Let's see. Oh, you have to pay for that as well. So I might have no. Okay. Disability. We can do CBS News, but I don't really like CBS News because there's sort of like a way that they're trying to go against us. So we can actually probably stop here for today because I'm not finding enough news where it's not behind a paywall, and I'm not going to do a paywall. So yeah, we're trying to make sure that we are, we're not doing any paywall stuff today. So today it was going to be a little shorter. It is a holiday, and I have to prep for my live stream for other places. So we're gonna wind down a little bit, and thank you guys for those who have paid for my books. That is excellent. I'm trying to make sure that you guys have extra content. There is going to be a third book out soon. I'm hoping to get money for it because it is a self-publishing book. So because it's self-published, I always have to pay. I am extraordinarily late for paying my bills on that, because as of right now, I have to always do my first bills, which is my cars, right? My car, one car, that's extremely expensive. Sorry, that was bothering me. So with this, right, this is also part of the whole thing of being disabled. I know that there are non-disabled people that are having a hard time with money payments. However, more so, I guess, disabled people in my experience, not in my line of work, but experience. My line of work would be that every time I go into an office, I see more able-bodied people than physically disabled people. I think that the fact that we can do better with that. Also, I think that because they think that, you know, someone who is in an upright wheelchair are the only disabled people, so they have an excuse to say what that is. Yeah. So I think that we also have to figure out what it means to be disabled, right? Because there's actual disabled stuff that, let's see, sorry, I'm doing work behind the scenes. And you see, I'm doing this all by myself, so my workers aren't helping me with this. Even though I've told them plenty of times that I would like help with this, they oftentimes don't know how to help because they're not there to help with that. If you need to go grocery shopping, they can help you go grocery shopping, right? So simple tasks. If you need help cleaning your apartment, right, they'll help you with cleaning your apartment by washing dishes and stuff like that. Okay, so marketing is truly a phenomenon that I am so happy that I'm learning how to do, but also at the same time that I wish
he woke up feeling some type of way.
I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to do better, I guess. I don't know. I mean, okay, so let's do I can do as well. Let's do this.
Keep putting in that work. Keep putting in that work. You know why? Saying what I said and I ain't taking it.
Okay, so Happy Labor Day. Labor. Okay, so like I said, I'm doing this all by myself. And so this is what I have to do. Sorry that this is not
It's National Suicide Prevention Month.
I'm sorry that it's not as glamorous as people believe it to be. So I have to go everywhere and just keep doing this over and over and over again. Yay, I'm getting attention for my work. So yes, I will probably go live on my TikTok as well. So as you can see, I was doing my TikToks and stuff like that because that's where I guess people at. And on YouTube is a little bit different. So yeah, I'm hoping that we will be able to bring this a little bit more to light. If we can keep the rhythm, keep the love going, that would be most excellent. I know that with as much stuff as we are going through now, I'm truly hoping that this will be my year to kind of come into myself. And I keep saying I'm gonna go to Netflix, although I don't think I ever will. Or I'm gonna go to Prime Videos. I don't think I will, but you never know. You never know. So with that being said, we can do my closer for now. Thank you for joining me in the first, thank you for joining me in my fourth sleuthing video. I do hope you appreciate my expertise, right? And understanding of what my experiences have been so far. As you can see, I'm doing the best I can with what I have. So if you like my content, like, subscribe, comment down below. Your opinion matters. With as much as I would like to say that I'm blowing up, I am not blowing up. It's okay, because not everybody needs to blow up, right? So again, doodles. Happy Labor Day, guys.